Hi, my YouTube subscribers. So I decided I'm gonna start like a makeup tutorial. I know I talk about TV shows, I talk about everything, but I'm gonna start doing makeup. So for my first trial, I'm going out to dinner with an old friend. So the first thing I'm doing is I have normal to oily skin. Which is called Fit Me. So you can find this in your local pharmacy. You can find this in your local like makeup section in Target or whatever. For me, I don't really wear makeup often, but like I have this pimple I want to cover up, and I haven't worn makeup in quite a while. So we're gonna just cover this bad boy up. So this is foundation for my ladies, and basically it covers up blemishes that you don't want to be shown on your face, right? So I used to wear makeup every time I would go out, like dinner or whatever. Like I used to wear it a lot, and then not really a lot, just when I would go out. And I used to go out a lot more in my 20s than I do now. Now I don't really go out much. And when I do, I don't really wear makeup. But I decided, I'm like, this pimple is really nasty looking. So I'm gonna just cover this up. You can get it's like a makeup sponge. And it's much better than just the traditional little thing that they have that comes with the compact. So you're just gonna apply that like this. You go under, not too much. The main objective is to cover blemishes, right? And for me, I have a little scar from my childhood, and I have a little scar here that you can't really see from when I fell. So it's just, it covers up things that you don't want to be seen. So I'm just and it's not gonna be covered completely. But it does the job, pretty much. Also, if you guys watch Tubi is a free app, by the way, and they have something called Black Comedy it's called the Black Comedy Show, hosted by Monique, and it's very funny. D-Ray, I've been blessed to see him at Madison Square Garden, and he doesn't stop talking about his mom. His mom was a crackhead. And one thing I noticed is that comedians, they have a lot of traumatic stories, and the reason why we laugh is I feel like it's a psychology to it. So I used to be a psychology major, and I switched to criminal justice. What turned me off about psychology is based upon opinions and theories. So I could have an opinion and it can make sense to you, and it won't make sense to the next person. That's why things like psychology or science and stuff is very there's no right or wrong. In my opinion, there's no right or wrong. Everyone has theories, everyone has opinions, everybody has things that work for them and don't work for them. So D-Ray. So if you know D-Ray, if you know comedy, you know D-Ray. He's a very popular and famous comedian, black comedian. He's lighter skin. And he has he said something that struck me. He said, don't date a man that has mommy issues. And that's a lot of black men, unfortunately. And his mom was on drugs. She never really showed him love. She would beat him for no apparent reason. She brought strange men around. He was like, he always had a new stepdad. And that's important as a single mom. Like, we all date. But I know for my son, he's seen the positive side of relationships on my end. He's only met 2 of my boyfriends, and both of them treated me okay. The last one, we're still friends. So, my son and him still have like a bond, naturally, because we were together for almost 4 years. And the other one, we kind of lost touch. I'm still friends with his family on social media. But so it's very important as a single mom to have positive relationships because it affects them. And even though D-Ray, even though he expresses it, I guess that's his therapy. That's another thing I wanted to say. Therapy can come in different forms. You don't have to sit and talk to a shrink. Don't let anybody tell you, oh, you got to sit down and talk to somebody. If your best therapy is having a YouTube channel, for some people it works for them, or for me, talking to friends that have gone through what you've gone through. So for D-Ray, I guess that's his therapy and joking about it on stage. But when he jokes about his trauma, it's just not funny to me. It's just sad because a lot of black men have gone through what he's gone through, the beatings. He even spoke about how he beat his women, and it makes perfect sense. Yeah, so D-Ray, he talked about how he would beat women because that's what he knew. His mother beat him. His mother was in an abusive relationship, and he made a joke that his mother said one day to her abuser, "I didn't even do anything." And he's like, "Neither did I." And everyone was like laughing in the audience. But I just hope that, I don't know D-Ray personally, but it bothers me that every time he gets up on stage, he talks about his mother and his traumatic experiences. So I hope he finds healing. I hope he finds rest, because that is not natural. That is not okay. You have to heal from that. And then in the end of the segment, in the credits, he's raising his daughter to be a dyke. So she won't end up with a guy like him. Again, he was joking, but it's he's endured a lot of trauma. And my heart goes out to him, because you have a lot of black men who have had ain't shit mamas, and they grow up angry at women and dislike women, and then the cycle continues. So that's just a lot that he went through. And some of the funniest people you will ever meet, they've been through a lot of stuff. Even my father, he been through a whole lot in his life, and he will always turn his trauma into laughter. When he talks about my grandmother, he just has me in knots laughing. But then when I think about it, I'm like, oh my God, that's trauma. That's definitely trauma. So even though we as a people, and I think that's a culture thing, that's our medicine. I think that's why black people, that's why we're so talented, because we go through a lot of trauma. And so that's where you get the poetry from. That's where you get the acting and the dancing and the the singing. Some of your best singers have been through pain. When you go through their stories, they've been through a lot of pain. So, it's just we as a people, that's what we know. It's pain. That's what we know. But, let's not evade it. Let's not ignore it, Let's try to, make sure we take care of that, the healing process or the healing process, is important. Because what happens to an infection when it doesn't heal properly? It gets worse, right? And that's the same thing with anything else. You don't heal properly, it just doesn't. It doesn't. So I saw this in another video. I don't know if I like it. I think I'm gonna take this off of my but this mascara though, it's working. I used to wear lashes. I still have my lashes, but for the mascara, I'm using MAC for my mascara. Right? For my lip gloss, I have MAC, I believe. It's MAC. And this is what I have for my foundation. Yeah, my brows are looking a little thick, so I think I'm gonna take it off. So this is me, and I am done. So yes, mental health is key, and it's very important. And a lot of the comedians, if you listen to them, they've been through a lot. And it's important to listen to a man, and try not to. I'm not saying if a man has mommy issues, y'all can't have a positive relationship, but try to understand people before judging them. You have these men out here that they grew up crazy, and they don't realize it because they're in love with their mom so much that it's like, oh, I love my mom, but she used to beat me for no reason. She would, didn't celebrate my birthday. She didn't do anything for me ever. She didn't congratulate me. She didn't support me in anything I did. So then when they get with a woman who is nurturing and everything, they don't know what to do. So you can't take it personal because their moms were shitty. That's why I make sure that, and I don't boast myself, but I make sure that I am the best mother that I could be, because I would never want my son to be a statistic where he's making 6 figures or ends up being a millionaire but treating women like shit because I didn't know how to love him or I didn't know how to love myself. So that's important, and that's my message for today. Love on your boys. A lot of times, like me, I have one child. It's my son. I always love on him. I don't spoil him, but I love on him. And I make sure I show him love. I don't just say I love you. I show him love. So when he gets with somebody, he knows what that feels like. And he had his little girlfriend, and she was mean to him. And I told him, I said, now, do I treat you like that? No. So now you know that that's not what you would want in your relationship. And he just turned 14, but he has an idea of what dating is like a little bit. And you're not supposed to be selfish. He hasn't gone out on dates yet, but I already prepped him. I'm like, you taking a girl out on a date, You paying for tickets, let her pay for popcorn. Don't be taking no girl out and you paying for everything every time, because that's a user. Let's keep it real. Y'all better be raising y'all daughters to be independent, because my son ain't no ATM. So that's what I say. That's my message for the day. Love on your boys. Just love on them so they don't come out on stage ridiculing their mamas. You know, food for thought.